Hello, it's New Year's Eve. It's pouring down somewhere south of Manchester, and I'm in the car park outside John Lewis's while Jeremy goes and looks at the sale. I didn't want to go in. I'm sick of shops. I've been to two shops and picked up some bread and milk, and I've no interest at looking at sales. Sales are no good nowadays. They're not like they used to be. And there's nowhere to go looking at books either. I actually looked in Tesco's, and their book section is just appalling, and mostly it's empty now, but it's just shite. And again, I'm raging against British publishers and the rubbish that they stockpile high in these shops. Some of it's all right. I like some of those books, but there's so little choice. How dare they deprive people of choice by discounting things so heavily and stocking just a handful of books? And of course, I'm furious because they canned my Elsie Mason series for Orion because it never got through to Tesco's and Asda and all those shops. If you don't get through to those shops, you're dead in the water, as somebody once told me. Anyway, so that was disappointing, and most of those books have vanished off their shelves because they've cut them down to so little. They've sold really well. I wish we had somewhere nearby a shop like Borders used to be, with everything in it. And I don't want a shishi independent bookshop to look at right now with their choice of things. I want a big supermarket bookshop like Borders or Books Etc. or Barnes and Noble, where I can go and look at everything and feel kind of comfy. And they've got half price hardbacks and stuff like that. I mean, I was saying I want cut price things when I was just complaining about that. I know. But I wish there was more choice. That's the point. Anyway, I'm not buying books. Just as well. This will probably go out on November? On January the 1st, it'll be the new year. And I'm going to start by beginning a whole new kind of reading regime. I try not to be faddish and begin projects and begin marathons and challenges. That's not my way. But by now, I should have finished reading Hilaire Belloc's cautionary verses, cautionary tales, ready for book club. And I'm ready to open the first of my book bags. This is a project that I dreamed up at some point in November, I think. And it's to do with tackling my TBR mountain, which is everywhere around the house and immense. And I get sick of the sight of the same books looking at me, wanting to be read. So I thought what I'd do is make a kind of all year round advent calendar. So in these wonderful tote bags I had a collection of, I would put 6 books. I would shop around my own house and put 6 books in each. I read about 6 books a month on average. So of varying lengths, it should make up a full month's reading. So in they went, and I filled, I think, about 15, it's more than a year's worth of books, and stashed them in a corner of my study. And the idea is that at the beginning of each month, I pick out a bag and empty it on camera, hopefully, and tell you what I'm going to read that month. They're all things I want to read. And if I give myself no choice, if I approach it as a kind of mini challenge, and not distract myself with other bollocks like I always do, it should work. I tried it out in December. That's exactly what I did in December. I had a shelf of 6 Christmas books, and I had Share, and then I had my own books, my Christmas books I'd been bought, which I didn't know what they were going to be, and ended up reading 3 or 4 of those straight after Christmas. So it's nice to limit yourself in that way. It's a kind of focusing tool. I'm sure I'm overthinking this, but it'll be fun. Honestly, I'm going to pick out a bag at some point, 1st or 2nd of January, and see what I've put aside for myself. And that'll be good. And I want to give myself lots of time to read. My resolutions as such are just to carry on doing the same with just as much, if not more, confidence. I'm going to carry on doing these videos because I love doing them. I love this audience. I love the comments. I love the community. I love the sense of being backed up in my own kind of ridiculous foibles, my own endless reading and interest in reading and finding things that I love. Doing that top 10 of last year was brilliant. I always do it. Usually it's just a list that I post on Facebook and things like that, but talking about it aloud is really interesting to me. I see what themes come through in the year and what I'm interested in, and I realise I'm still interested in myth and legend and kind of eccentric and queer retellings of myth and legends. I'm interested in showbiz celebrity biographies told well, especially when they cover the years through the 60s, 70s and 80s. And I'm interested in life-affirming novels about ordinary people who become extraordinary in ways that people might not even appreciate at the time. It's the kind of epic within the minuscule is what I'm interested in. And that's just true of me generally, I think. That's what I love. And those themes really came through in my choices last year, and I hope they will in what I read next year. And the kind of confidence I'm going to go at all of this with, I hope I will continue with in my own work. There were lots of new directions and firsts for me, lots of challenges I set myself in 2024, and I want to continue with all that stuff. I want to sell this novel, this domestic thriller that I wrote. It's out with people now, with editors now. And when offices start opening and work starts again in January, I'm hoping to be hearing more about how that's going as people read my novel. I want that to work. And there's various edits and bits of work I have to do on last year's projects before I settle down. And, well, no, at the same time as settling down and writing the beginning of a new novel, which I want to do this week. January is not January unless I start a new book. And whether I've got somebody who wants it, somebody who's contracted to have it, somebody I'm going to sell it to in mind, I still have to start a new novel, and that's always been true. I have a short story to finish first, and that's a gentle way of beginning the writing year. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of this week. And hopefully I'll put that new short story, which is a spooky story, on Patreon quite soon. So hop over to my Patreon channel where it's dirt cheap. It's like £2 or $2 a month to subscribe to this massive amount of work, of writing and all sorts from me. There's an archive there now of all sorts of stuff. So look for my name in Patreon. I think that's it from me in the rainy car park. I wish it was sunnier and brighter like it was yesterday. We didn't go out yesterday when it was nice. We were entertaining at home. Didn't get to go out. We were too busy eating and sitting by the fire. I hope everyone's well. And if you're not well, I hope you're going to get better soon and feel better soon and feel like you can face the new year happily. I can, I hope. I feel optimistic about the next year. I'm sending everybody love. On New Year's Eve, you'll see this on New Year's Day. I hope there's a good evening in between, and I hope to see you all again soon. Goodbye.